Hi, I'm Kelsey.
And I'm India, and welcome to Two Girls in a Show.
Today we're going to be talking about episode 11 and 12 of season 3 of Riverdale.
So let's get started.
I just want to start out by saying these episodes are getting more and more weird, more and more complex, but like very easily solvable.
Mm-hmm. Predictable?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. I just feel like as soon as I see the episode, I'm like, this is exactly how it's going to end.
Well, because it's almost like there's little mini mysteries in it. So you have all of the happenings of the individual characters, but then they're finding a way to connect to the characters. So
yeah,
they're making it so there is a means to an end with these, but then they have like the mini mysteries along the way that they solve basically at the end of each episode.
Right. Like just maybe drag it out like 1, 2, maybe 3 if we're feeling frisky. Like just stop like solving it right away, because like I'm missing that like, oh my gosh, I can't wait until next week.
I agree.
And I've always had that with Riverdale, but like these episodes,
yeah,
I'm not getting it. And it's
like
I'm actually sad.
Going from there, we're going to kind of go over 2 episodes this time, just to make sure we catch up here. First things first, that's kind of gone from one episode to the other, is everything going on with the lodges. Hiram gets shot, Hermione's being shady, and Veronica's basically being the adult, or trying to be the adult, and clean up her parents' mess.
I know, which is just like, it's so much. And I literally just go back to every single time, like, these kids should be in school. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Hiram is out of commission. He's in the hospital. He can't do anything. Mm-hmm. So that should be the time where Hermione, as his wife, steps up and she handles everything.
Yeah.
Instead, she's being shady, wants to sell all of the fizzle rocks off and like make money, and she's obviously going behind Hiram's back. All of the kids are the adults and the adults are kids, at least in this family. I won't say other families, but it literally makes no sense.
Kind of in the last episode, we talked about how she was more so a pawn, because Hiram was basically having all of these conversations with Penelope and Claudius and trying to build the empire with them. True. And then when Hermione confronted him about it, he was basically just like, you don't need to know about that, like, and basically lying straight to her face. Yeah. So I'm glad to see that she does have a backbone and still has some fight left in her and some independence.
I just don't want her being shady. Like, yeah. I would like to see her and Veronica like team up. Yeah. And Hiram has to be taken down. This is what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. That is not what we saw, because Veronica goes back to Reggie to be like, I think my mom's conspiring against my dad. Let's burn the fizzle rocks. And I'm like, why? Oh, Veronica, it just bothers me.
Well, and I feel like they're owed it. Like, everything that her dad has put them through all through these years, them almost dying on multiple occasions, and basically trying to set Veronica up for failure just so she remains under his control. Mm-hmm. And it was like, this was their way out.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that's consistent with all of the kids that still makes them kids, is that they're so quick trigger, and they make a decision, they think something's bad, they want to do something to fix it, where it's like they don't think of the ramifications behind it.
And she definitely did not.
Now they're in a really big pickle. They owe money to, spoiler alert, Jughead's mom.
Jughead's mom, which I actually like that actress, so yeah. I'm happy that that's Jughead's mom, but it's just very odd. I don't know. I guess I didn't know who the buyer would be. I guess none of us knew. Mm-hmm. But when she got out of the car, I was just like going back a little bit on how the kids are the adults. So obviously Hermione was upset that Veronica and Reggie burned the fizzle rocks. So she's like, Veronica, you have to go and like make this money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, like, help me. I am still a kid. Like, I make mistakes.
It's a really interesting situation. One thing I will say, though, is with the whole money exchange, because Veronica is trying to take things and matters into her own hands, I know it's kind of like, you're the mom, you should be able to help her, but it's kind of like, if you're going to sit here and do all of this on your own, by all means,
that is true too.
Go ahead. You know what? You want to be an adult and you want to be part of this business and make your own decisions. Yeah. You go ahead and fix your mess, or else basically both of us will be dead.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they're 16, but
I At this point, age does not matter.
Speaking of Hermione also kind of conspiring and having her own thoughts and, plans, another, corpse has risen from the dead.
I know. These people do not die in Riverdale. First of all, they just go in hiding.
There's something in the water.
Yeah. Fizzle Rock runoff. Welcome back, Sheriff Minetta, I guess. Welcome back. And then R.I.P. This keeps happening.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to add him to the list of Tallboy, who was only on the episode for literally one episode. Welcome back, and then now you're dead.
And him and Hermione, a little canoodling.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I kind of like it. Because, again, kind of going off what I said earlier, I like seeing Hermione have a backbone and not laying back and just letting things happen to her. She's finally, it makes sense why she's been quiet all this time, because she's had so much planned in the background that, letting Hiram kind of like do whatever he wants because it distracts him from what she, what her means to an end is. I mean, in this part, it's almost kind of like Minetta's more of a pawn. I don't think Hermione has feelings. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, she clearly does not have feelings because she shot him. So I think that was probably just like her just having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think she should, because Hiram's obviously having fun himself. She knows about it. So do what you gotta do. Yeah, go ahead, Hermione, because she is always just in the background. And now this gives her more screen time, which I love because she's beautiful.
I love her.
It gives her, answers our questions. Why are you a pawn? She's not. She has her own agenda, and she's doing it despite Hiram.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. Maybe she'll have a new love interest, and we'll go from there.
And then she'll kill him. So a lot happening with the lodges. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Hermione. We've talked about her kind of coming out of the depths of underneath the man. We have another vixen coming in and really, sharpening her claws. And it's Miss Penelope Blossom.
I know. Honestly, she's been wanting to kind of stand aside from the Blossom men for so long. And now she has this brothel, and I don't care that she has a brothel. I think it's kind of hilarious that they've painted her as this. What are you, a madam? But I mean, I just think it's funny. It's kind of comical. But the cool thing is that Betty, in her investigative state, finds out that Penelope has poisoned all of these men. So we've got Claudius, we've got Clifford, and then the principal when they're in the Midnight Club. So the fact that she's doing this, I don't agree with. Obviously. I don't think you need to kill people because they're men and, you're being all this, woman power or whatever your reasoning is. But it is good to see her doing something else. Because, again, I like all of the parents of Riverdale. I like that they all kind of have, something going on. And, this is her thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm here for it. Not here for the killing. Here for the brothel. It's
a very strange concept. One that has been very open, I feel almost in the making. So it's kind of interesting to see it come to fruition, but it's a weird concept.
It's not even all the way, because I feel like she's doing this secretly and Hiram doesn't know.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not going to have a brothel in a hotel. You need to log people that are coming into hotels. There's cameras. It's not as private as your own building.
100%.
So she's obviously doing this in secret, and I'm waiting for when Hiram finds out how he will react.
You think about it, Penelope is now in a state of it basically has an advantage on Hiram now, because her and Claudius were kind of his two right-hand men when he ixnayed Hermione.
Yeah.
So it's now Claudius is gone. So
it's just her.
It's literally her. She has all of this dirt, even though she's got the brothel. She keeps saying it's legal. Borderline Riverdale legal, for example. She can really play around with Hiram, and I kind of like the fact that now slowly but surely Hiram is losing his his hierarchy, his power over all these people of Riverdale, and I'm kind of happy to see it. And it's the women that are coming up, and leave it to the women to hide in the shadows until the opportune moment.
We're the smarter species anyway, so it's like we should be the ones that are making the rules, whether it's good or bad. I like what Penelope is doing. I do think that was smart of her to kill Claudius, whether it's because he was, still making the fizzle rocks and the runoff was going and giving all the women seizures, or she just wanted to get him out of the way so that she can be Hiram's go-to. Mm-hmm. Either way, you go, girl.
So the theme of this episode really seems to be focused on the women of Riverdale. Kind of segueing over to that is Sierra now coming to the forefront more, becoming more of a character. Yeah. Having the wedding with Tom Keller, joining those families officially, but something kind of stopped them.
I know. They were literally just in their suite, living their lives, and they're hungry. So Sierra goes over, lifts up, thinking that her meal should be there, and there's a letter. And the dramatics, the Midnight Club is reuniting.
Yes.
And the Gargoyle King summons them basically and tells them not to say anything or else their kids would suffer or, face something.
Yeah.
So, I actually like that they all had to get back together because it's just cool to see. But I feel like in my personal life, if this happened to me and they were like, don't tell Kelsey or else she's gonna die or someone's gonna die, I'm gonna tell you because I need you to be prepared just in case. You need to act like you don't know, but you know. The kids of Riverdale have been through so much and they're savvy. They just know, they would know what to do more than the parents.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly.
So the Midnight Club's back. They're trying to figure out what the next step is. Why do they have to come back? We thought we finished this when Weatherby died.
Yeah.
What could there possibly be left?
But they want them to finish the game. And what I don't understand, finishing the game means that someone has to die. Weatherby obviously was a casualty. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to drink from the chalice. Why he drank from it? Whatever. Who wants to kill one of the parents? I don't understand. That's how you end the game.
Right.
So I did think it was smart that Penelope made an antidote.
100%.
But it was funny because they didn't trust her.
I wouldn't
they
either.
all took it and they're like, she's like, come on guys, and takes it back. I wouldn't trust her either, but I just thought that it was hilarious that they're all they searched, they looked for the chalices, they didn't find anything, and then they're like, wait a minute, they want our kids. Mm-hmm. What I'm curious about, they all have had eyes on all the kids. So they're Reggie's with Veronica, Jughead and Betty are together, Archie's with Josie. Okay, these two are together in a bunker. So they know where the bunker is. Mm-hmm. They've seen them go down to the bunker because they knew exactly where to go.
Yeah.
And it turns out one of the Gargoyle Kings, because he's not the official,
right,
is the ROTC dad and their other members. It's so stupid.
It was, to me, and I kind of said the same thing as one of the other things, and Riverdale keeps doing this episode after episode. There's always something in there that I feel is almost like a writing cop-out. Mm-hmm. Because it's this could have been the moment where one of the parents or somebody even in the inner circle of the kids was exposed as 100% of a traitor.
Yeah.
And it would have been so dramatic. It would have been so good. Really shaking things up to that next level. Mm-hmm. But they bring somebody in who has had total maybe 5 minutes in the last 8 episodes, if that, maybe it was in one episode, but give him this huge backstory of he went to Sisters of Quiet Mercy because he was questioning his sexuality, and so he was fixed. Well, we all know what happens with that. We saw Cheryl when she was there, and then they had to get her out. But it's I don't understand why Riverdale and the writers are having this situation where they feel like they need to just bring somebody in, have some sort of mystery, explain everything into grave detail, and then it's over. Yeah,
and I don't think it's not necessary. You need to use someone that we know their backstory. It was kind of how they did Hal. Mm-hmm. It's what? He has this huge backstory that we're where did that even come come from. It literally makes no sense. So the fact that it's Moose's dad as a Gargoyle King, it was a cop-out, and I wasn't a fan.
No.
At all.
Well, and even going back to like season 1, obviously that meant a little bit more because the whole thing was trying to figure out who shot, Jason. So it's like you're trying to figure out, and that felt better because at least Clifford was in the show and he was invested in the show. It's still, we didn't know the full backstory of everything, but it was enough where it was a shocker, and it just created so much more and made it that much more, jaw-dropping when it actually happened. So
because it's not, they revealed Moose's dad, and I'm like, oh, as opposed to be like, no freaking way. Like, I want that feeling, and I know Riverdale can do it because they've done it before. Yeah. So like, we need to like get that back. So
what are you guys doing? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Two Girls in a Show.
Be sure to follow us on social media to keep up with all things Two Girls in a Show.
Make sure to like this video and leave us a comment. We want to know what you have to say about this episode and the season in general.
See you next week.
Cheers!